Welcome to this edition of the eClinicalWorks podcast. I'm Adam Silati. As services begin to reopen around the country, physician offices may be eager to start seeing patients in person and return to some semblance of normal. But rather than revert to the old ways of operating, many offices realize that this presents a rare opportunity to reinvent their practice and take an evolutionary leap into the new normal. Here to speak with us today about how reopening may change and reshape the appointment process is Sid Shah, Vice President, Hilo. Sid, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you, Adam. Pleasure to be here.
Now, Sid, in March, April, and May, virtual visits, televisits really took off, right? That became kind of the go-to way to provide care to patients for many practices. But now that practices are starting to reopen, what is going to change from this point forward?
Adam, we are in interesting times today, right? Businesses across every industry are struggling, but at the same time, offering creative and innovative solution to kind of come out of this situation. Touch-free services, contact-free services is what everyone is trying to use in every industry. Healthcare is no different. We need to have the medical practices also offer that to the patients. You know, as patients move from those virtual visit days to now coming back into the office, they need to be provided assurance that when I visit the doctor's office, I am going to be as safe as I was when I was doing this from home. And we need to provide solutions in the hands of the doctor's offices and the medical staff to make this easy for their patients. And that's the reason why Hilo is here to offer a contactless check-in experience for doctor's office and their patients.
So that's a great point. You know that that check-in process needs to fundamentally shift. So why don't we explore what that would look like? Let's say a patient books their appointment, either online through an on-demand appointment or by calling the office. What is the process from that point forward going to look like?
Yeah, Adam, let me walk you through that process. Once you booked an appointment, either through Hilo's online capability or made a phone call to the doctor's office, now in the traditional way, you would be getting a reminder from the doctor's office that you have an appointment that is upcoming, right? This could be in the form of a voice call that has been sent to you on your phone, or even better, sent to you through an SMS message. Most people today are, looking at SMS in every aspect of life. Imagine receiving an SMS message a few days prior to your appointment telling you that you have an upcoming appointment. But not only that, we have embedded in that SMS now a link to allow the patient to begin their check-in process. Once that link is clicked, you can say that I'm going to confirm that I'm going to be there for the appointment, or you can say I'm going to not be able to make it. But once you confirm your appointment, you have the ability to add this to your calendar. And there's a button to say begin check-in. That begin check-in button will allow you to do everything that you would do in the traditional way in the doctor's office. And what are those? There are five different things that you typically do in the waiting room at the front office when you go to the office. First thing, you're going to be able to update your personal information. Through this Hilo check-in option, you can update your phone number, your address, if anything has changed. Second, validate your insurance information. If there's already one in record, you can say, yes, this looks good. Or you can give a picture of your new insurance card to the doctor's office. Third, any disclosure HIPAA forms that you need to fill, you would accept and sign those. You can do that electronically. Fourth, you're looking at your medical information. So if you're a new patient, anything that you need to fill out to let the doctor know what histories you have, any updates to medications that you're taking, any allergies you have, all that information you can validate and provide to the office. And finally, payments, you would pay a copay. We made this available through Hilo Payment Services. And as part of the e-check-in process, you can pay your copay or any available balances that you may have. Now, this is the process a few days prior to the appointment. And imagine that you've completed your check-in. What happens on the day of the appointment? That is the other important piece. On the day of the appointment, we allow the patient to say that I have arrived to the office. So when you're driving to the doctor's office and you reach the location, you can hit a button on that same link or the link that you receive, an SMS that you received on the day of the appointment to say, I have arrived to the office. By saying that, the doctor's office now knows that you are here waiting in the parking lot and ready to be seen. They will validate every information that you put in before for check-in. If all of it that is good, they will let you know and get you going with the physician. And that experience is what we call the contactless check-in.
Now, it sounds like there's a lot of automation involved in that process, getting those documents signed electronically, updating the insurance information, and I'm sure there's a capability here to have patients fill out information ahead of the visit through questionnaires that have been published. And that's a lot of changes for both the practice and for the patients in this process. There's a lot of things that are going to be shifting and adjusting. I'm sure there's a lot of practices that are worried whether they're doing it right and whether their patients are responding well to those changes. How would practices stay informed about their patients' reactions to these adjustments?
Absolutely. Feedback is important, right? And any change that you make, we want that feedback to come back to the practices. What is the experience like? Did the patients like what they did? And that's why Messenger has the capability to offer post-visit survey campaigns to the doctor's offices. What this campaign does is right after the appointment, the very next day, the patient will get a text message or an email asking for feedback. And that survey could be designed by the doctor's office with any number of questions they want, any type of questions they want. And that information then becomes available to the physician office in the form of wonderful survey analytics, which they can kind of compare, contrast between patients, between physicians, between offices, and make changes that are necessary in their office. So we encourage our practices to use the post-visit survey campaign.
Now, Sid, how are practices going to be able to get a hold of these various capabilities?
We made it very easy and simple for them. Most practices today use the Messenger appointment reminder capabilities. What we ask is, if you're not sending messages, reminders through SMS, start doing that. And we've given a simple ability for provider offices to enable the functionality of check-in. Once you enable that, as part of the SMS, like I said, a link will go out to begin check-in. And that information then flows right into the patient's chart in the EMR. And so there's very little learning for the patient, and there is very little learning for the doctor's office. And we've kept it very simple for them. So start using appointment reminders through SMS and enable the begin check-in option.
Well, Sid, it sounds like this contactless check-in process is introducing a lot of automation to the appointment. Patients can complete forms and update insurance, and I'm sure they can even go ahead and pre-fill some of the information in the appointment through questionnaires that might have been published for the visit. All of this sounds like it's going to offload a lot of burden from some of the front office staff in the practice. What could practices be doing with those resources now that they might have some additional time to work with?
Yeah, it's a good thing that they'll have some more time now, right? The burden word you use is important, that that's taken off the shoulder of the medical staff, even slightly, if not more. And we encourage our offices, doctors' offices, to use that time to let patients, educate the patients about the Hilo app, about the patient portal, and get them to get web-enabled, get them online, get them access their information online. The capabilities are there. We allow the patients to book online directly. We allow the patients to look at their health information, to update that information, to send messages to their doctor's office electronically, to have the virtual visits. So many capabilities that Hilo has to offer. And if the doctor's office can do a little more to educate the patients about that and the capabilities, I believe the patients will use that. And so we feel that that time can be repurposed for that.
Well, it sounds like certainly a great place to start. And if they're already using those capabilities, there sounds like they're going to be getting even better in the near future here. So Sid, thank you so much for your time and your information here today. We do really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Adam.
Now, for those of you who are watching, if you'd like to learn anything else about these tools and capabilities that we've discussed on today's episode, you can reach out to your strategic account manager, or you can find more information on my.eClinicalWorks.com. You can also check out our other eClinicalWorks podcasts on iTunes, YouTube, and my.eClinicalWorks.com. And for the eClinicalWorks podcast, I'm Adam Salati. Thanks for watching.